Hey internet, how's it going? Welcome to another episode of the Jongravesshow. Durarara this week was actually backstory heavy for Shinra and Izuya. Talking about when they both were back in middle school and how they both actually became somewhat of friends, and honestly they do their best to actually explain what in the fuck happened in the past two episodes, or at least like in the last episode where fucking Izuya had to deal with that weird ass gang that was selling drugs and shit. And pretty much, if I can sum this up, all right, is the fact that one of the guys from high school or from fucking middle school who fucking was who was into this whole gambling thing when Izuya was really into like doing the whole like criminalistic shit, or at least like when he was still fresh. One of the students wanted to get money from his father. He took money from his father. He gambled it away, and after that he asked Izuya if he could get it back. Izuya said no, because you knew full well like how all this was, and I didn't force you. So the guy pretty much went on to threaten him with a knife, and Shinra jumped in the way and he stabbed Shinra. Of course, you know, as amends for this, or at least for him taking a stab wound for Izuya says, "Listen, I'm gonna do everything in my power to make this guy suffer for pretty much the rest of his life," and that's pretty much. And Shinra's like, "I'm okay with that," you know, and that's pretty much like the back, or at least that man was the crux of things, which led into this. And how it goes is that for some reason his name came up to where that I believe that his name was actually put upon the weird thing about this entire series is, or at least how this story is breaking down is that the girl Mimizu, who pretty much liked the guy, in this case his name is the guy's name is Nakara, right? Or at least the guy who went by the name of Mr. Kumoy and also Lizard. However, in terms of the girl Mimizu, however, she fucking created this whole like idea in which that she was man, and the bosses love her, and of course she was the person who actually was the girl in the purple dress who was actually torturing Izuya and shit. Of course, because that's what in the fuck man she thought. And also upon the flip side of that, they have the other dude, Shijima, the guy who actually made his actual legal drug shit, and was going by the name of Mr. And said that his boss, Mr. Kamui, in this case Nakara, was actually the boss of that. And they both thought that their boss, and it's actually crazy because their boss was actually the same person, and not the same person in mind and also in physical in physical appearance. And of course Nakara was the person who really didn't want anything to do with them, because of course their actions were actually drawing in the fucking damn mafia and shit. So yeah, things really weren't going all that good for them. And it's actually a thing to where, I believe that this is what led Nakara to actually change his face in the first place. And also, he does sort of say at one point, if this really is as bad as you say it is, you can always just ask Shinra to change your face again. Of course, which, to be fair, I can actually I'm actually okay with this form of torture, because really, well, if anything, I would say that these two these two events, they weren't necessarily orchestrated by Izuya or Shinra. It was just a fucked up slice of life, and two people that they just got really infatuated with his name or something like that, and then, or at least like they liked his online name or something, and then they just turned to drugs. And then they just mentally just made up this random ass boss, a guy who didn't want to have anything to do with this shit in the first place. But as it stands, though, is that information it does sort of, well, now everything is going out and everything it does sort of lead off of them talking about the actual villain of this series. And of course, it's like Easy as sisters, they both come off actually really, really liking him now. Or at least, like, they say that they're really, really, really appreciative of him, because he did actually send somebody to actually look after them and keep the actual villains boys off of their back. Even though he came out and said, like, I was just doing that to keep you out of the way. They both still actually appreciated him, which is actually something that I actually really like it when brothers and sisters in fiction when they get along. But that is a story for another day. But that is what I gotta say about that. This episode was a pretty cool introverted story of just talking about some random guy and these events which actually inadvertently led to him becoming a boss drug dealer for two separate names and entities. But that is what I got to say about that. Please tell me what do you think about this down there in the comment section. I'll catch you guys on the next John Graves Show. Please keep watching anime, keep playing video games. I'm out.